It's Street Fighter time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the Storm Collectibles Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition E.Honda figure. And I'm just listing all these names, but actually it's just Street Fighter because E.Honda and Street Fighter 5, I don't see much difference between SF2 and SF5. But, you know, it gives them a reason to re-release them maybe. Anyway, also what is this design? That does nothing look like him. Well, his outfit that is. Finally, we're having the big Sumo in the Street Fighter 5 line, or like the Street Fighter line for Storm Collectibles in general. Really happy to have this one. He's huge, he's bulky, so I really just want to get into this and handle this guy. Ha! And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe for more Street Fighter Storm Collectibles content. Holy crap, this guy's big. That is one of the joys of Storm Collectibles figures. It's fun to have like a big chunky boy in my hand. Like, look at this. He's as big as my hand. Huge. Now, let's have a look at the actual size. He stands at about 19 centimeters to the top of the head, but if you're going really to the top of the hair, that's 19 and a half pretty much. And for your inches, that means we are going up 7.8 inches tall. For your size comparisons, here's Jalter, SH Figure Arts God Goku, a very early Storm Collectibles release in Hot Ryu, and then we got the later upscaled Super Street Fighter 2 Ryu, and Darkseid. So, other than me being super impressed by how huge he is, let's have a look at the detail. First and foremost, the face sculpt. Well, you have the face paint printed on there, which does look clean, and I think that that's one of the things you're just gonna have to look at if it's adjusted right, if it lines up with the rest of the face, and it does. His face looks also very serious, very rugged a little bit, has some lines in the forehead, and also the hair is detailed with a bunch of strains molded into it. Now, what I feel is kind of weird about the molding, look at his entire body. There's like molded detail also in that, and I don't talk about the muscles. The muscle work is awesome, but what about like these very small tiny lines? I don't really get that. I don't get the effect of that, so I'm not sure about it. I don't know, and obviously even though he's big, he still has muscle on top of his, well, fat. Always one of the great Street Fighter mysteries, and he has huge, just huge arms, bicep, tricep, all in full effect. And the forearm, and look at this giant hinge, I love it. And the fist as big as his head, almost, as we go down to his, what do I call the traditional garb of a sumo wrestler? If there is a name for that, leave it down in the comments, guys, but this thing is not great, because look at the line work, it does not line up, it goes over the line a lot, and you know, you're not really gonna notice it from afar, but I'm here to show you all the detail from up front, and that is really disappointing. But we have another part in here, and I guess I have to do it. It's Panzer time. He does have the red Speedo, and it actually is a Speedo, because if we're going into the back, yikes, demonetized. But yeah, you just see the inner works of the articulation really there, because I give them credit that they did this small kind of line, and I'm also kind of happy that they didn't expand the butt cheeks to meet in the middle. So, I mean, that helps with the articulation, because if the butt cheeks just had do I really want to go on with that sentence? If the butt cheeks keep touching each other, that's not good for the articulation. Anyway, giant legs with much more muscle detail in there, and the knees and down to the big feet. You will not have any trouble balancing out this guy, because he's huge. I mean, that's a thing, that's an art style of Street Fighter 5, but the characters have fairly big feet and fists, so it does make sense, and it does all line up very nicely. Now for the articulation, if you know Storm Collectibles articulation, you know, it's basically the same. You have a ball joint for the head, and then it is on a long peg that goes into the neck. And since the entire neck is soft plastic, it will bend with it, usually. But this neck is really thick, so let me give this another try. Goes forward, goes to the back, does tilt side to side, and does go all the way around. It really takes some pushing around, it really takes some force. Don't push it too much, you don't want to break off the pack. Although I've never had that happen before, but it does work. You really just gotta fight this hard plastic. I mean soft plastic, but it is pretty thick after all. For the shoulder articulation, you have a ball joint which is on a big hinge that goes into the chest area, is covered up with this floaty piece, and you can rotate it around, you can bring it forward if it doesn't disconnect, and you can bring it to the back, and you can also swing it up and down a little bit. You have bicep swivel for the, oh my god, this huge bicep, and a big elbow joint with the fist on a ball hinge, goes back, forward, and rotates all the way around. Movement of the chest area is back and forth, does tilt side to side, and it does, well, does it go all the way around? I don't want to force it anymore because you see the soft plastic is being stretched immensely, so be careful with that. You don't want to rip your plastic. Again, have never happened that before, but that's just things I'm thinking of right now. Possible issues you can have. Then for the legs, they are extremely stiff. I don't like the noise of it, but as a result, you will not have any trouble of him holding poses, holding up all this weight. So I do appreciate it. It does go out to the side, and you also have to fight all this plastic covering up his underwear, and it does go to the back very nicely actually. I just don't like this noise. And you can also rotate it around, obviously. Got the double hinge knees and the foot, which is just on another ball hinge, which is packed in to the foot. It does go up and down. Does have a little bit of a pivot. Well, actually a lot more than I thought. And a toe hinge to round off your articulation. For your accessories, I'm actually kind of disappointed, and I'll tell you why in a second. Well, I'll tell you right away. He doesn't have a multi-arm effect, so that would have been it. That would have knocked it out of the park. But anyway, face sculpts look actually very menacing. If the camera would focus on it, you have very detailed teeth in there is also what makes it even more interesting. And why does he have like lines on his nose over there? Does he just gain some face paint when he's angry? That's weird. Anyway, then for the hands, you have open palm hands, of course, for the slapping. And then you have straight chop hands for the chopping. Simple. And then you have the grabby hands for the booby grabbing. Or actually when he, during his intro, he throws like sand or salt or whatever. And then there's this energy effect, which I don't really like, because it doesn't really have anything to connect anywhere. And it falls apart. You have this, and you're supposed to drape this over. And then there's the little part which already fell down, and that's supposed to be the effect when you hit somebody with his multi-arm technique. Don't really like it, doesn't really connect very well, really have to heat it up. But yeah, I mean it looks okay, but like I'm saying, it doesn't have anything to connect. And then you have, for whatever reason, also this mini base, which sucks. Usually some the history, let me give you a history of some collectors' bases real quick. Before, the very first couple of Street Fighter characters all had their own base for the character, which had like a Street Fighter 5 stand and like a big arm, and you could pose them on there. Then they stopped doing that, and then sometimes delivered these small bases where you had like these pieces to combine and make like a longer arm and put something on there. But they also had like a grabby arm which had like more hinges to move around. They stopped doing that, and now they have just this crap, and I don't care for this one. I don't like this one, and I don't even know what I'm supposed to connect to it, because you would hold this up and there is nothing down here, from what I can tell, to connect it to the base, so it's worthless. And then finally you have the bath stage, which looks pretty cool, but it's kind of ruined by the copyright symbol, but you know, you gotta have to do that. But I like this printed on there for some diorama stuff, and that's your accessories. And it's gonna bring me to the final thoughts for this Street Fighter 5 E.Honda figure. I still love it. I still love the size. He's very nimble actually, and he does bring the look to life. And to me, that's the most important aspect of any figure out there. If it doesn't look like it is in the game, why do you even get it? You know, it's just a waste of time. Now, of course, we can't overlook the bats, the weird and ugly paint job on his outfit. It's just terrible. And the weird texturing also on the skin, I don't really know about it. It doesn't bother me too much, but it is there. And then finally, the accessories is, you know, it's alright. It's good. It's good. But I really would have wished, and that's just a wish list, that's not really a complaint, really would have wished for a multi-arm effect. However, they would have done that if they would have done actually multiple arms and melted them together, or, you know, just have like a see-through kind of wind effect and then put some arms on the top, some hands on the front part. And there you go. You could have done something like that, but didn't do any of it. And I know it would have been a big feature to actually bring that to life and make it right. So yeah, it's like I'm saying, it's a wish. Anyway, I do recommend this one for everybody who collects the Street Fighter line, obviously, and everybody who likes big, bulky figures. I mean, in general, if you're a fan of that, Storm Collectibles has your back. So that's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever E.Honda wants, like cleaner lines in there. Ha!